Joining me in studio right now from ESPN, DJ Bien Ame. We have been talking about Stroud's progress week to week, and I thought yesterday, DJ, seeing how effortlessly this guy throws the football, specifically with the throws he made last night, it really is beautiful football. And who knows if it'll happen in the regular season. I was really happy with what I saw from him last night, though.
I thought we didn't see anything in preseason from Stroud. I thought there was not. He wasn't showing anything.
You're talking about the people online that are saying that.
Yeah, man.
Not us.
Yeah, we ain't say that.
We have not said that.
We have not said that. Yeah, I was really impressed with that throw. I mean, it was such a small sample size, but then you saw what I've seen throughout practice, week in and week out, is the elite ball placement that he has. He flashes a lot of elite ball placement. Obviously, year one, there's going to be some ups and downs. But again, the whole rookie season is about showing the flashes of what you could be. Mm-hmm. And that ball placement to Nico was special.
Yeah.
Like, I had some of my friends. I won't add some of them. I got a group chat.
Oh, I kind of want you to add him now. Was it a bad take?
He was like, he could have led him a little bit further.
Oh, my God. Wait, he really did that? Okay, I want to talk about just that specific throw.
Go ahead.
So it's the first time that we've seen Stroud throw the football downfield in the preseason, and it looked like he put nothing into it. And not only was it a beautifully placed ball, I just can't believe it only took that much for him to launch it.
Yeah, it was a moon ball. It had enough arc. It dropped right into the bucket where only Nico could catch it. Obviously, the DB made a good play to, pull it out at the end. But, I mean, again, like putting a pass only where your guy can have a legitimate shot at making a play on the ball for a completion. Obviously the corner at the end was able to pull out. But Nico would probably admit he got to come down with that. And then the one day Robert Woods, like he put it in place where Robert Woods could still make the play. Now, that one was a little tricky because CJ put it a little bit earlier, the way the play was designed. Because you had the go route on the outside. You had Robert running a deep out where he, leaned inside and then broke outside leverage. And CJ, there was a little pressure around him, around his feet. It wasn't like actual pressure, but just bodies around his feet. And he kind of double clutched, which is why it looked like a broken play. But in reality, like CJ will probably admit, I got to throw that one in rhythm. That's an automatic first down. Learning experience, little things. But even when he was scrambling to throw that ball on the run and still give Robert Woods a chance to catch it was impressive. And then you had the one to Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, that was a good throw.
That was a very good throw. Pinpoint accuracy. And again, like he has, like what I realized, he has the tools to be a franchise guy. It's just going to come down to, he's going to put the work in to not learn the playbook, because that's probably at least my concerns, is learn NFL defenses to understand what they're trying to do to him, and can he process quickly on the fly, things of that nature, putting this time to understand defenses, and then can you operate when the pocket gets muddy?
These are defenses that are vanilla that he's going up against. And you do have to take a little bit of everything with a grain of salt. But if you're looking for the glimpses and some of the people online, the actually people maybe are saying on that throw that he had to Robert Woods, well, he could have taken off and run with it.
That was so dumb to me, because I was like, there was literally a safety screaming downhill. Like we all have acknowledged, like CJ isn't like the fastest on foot.
And he doesn't want to run first.
He doesn't, yeah.
I kind of like that. Okay, he's willing to extend the play and at the very last second throw the ball out.
Right, yeah.
Because he wants to pass the football first. I mean, that is ultimately what you want out of the guy throwing the ball.
There is running to run and there's running to throw, right? So he's going to create and buy time to throw. And that's what I prefer. I don't necessarily need a quarterback that isn't a next. The guys that I'm fine with creating to run are Lamar, Jalen Hurts, Anthony Richardson, Justin Fields. And if I'm missing somebody, then and Josh Allen. That's it. Those are the main guys that if they're creating to run, I'm cool with that, because they can legitimately create an explosive play.
Mahomes is fun with the way he runs, but it's in a different way.
Right.
Because I've always felt it's like watching Vladimir Putin play hockey against like Russians, because it's for some weird reason it feels like no one can hit him. I know it's a weird. Have you ever watched Putin play hockey?
Okay.
The leader of Russia. Have you ever watched him? Have you ever watched him play hockey?
No.
It's really funny because there's this old man who's playing hockey and no one's allowed to touch him or come near him. And that reminds me of Patrick Mahomes because for whatever reason, it seems like nobody is capable of hitting Patrick Mahomes.
Ah, man.
He just dances around him.
Out of all people, you just picked him.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Well, it could have been another. I mean, we could have talked about another problematic world
for
leader.
Sure, for
I mean,
sure,
it'd be the same situation.
Yeah, you're right.
Could be even worse in Korea.
My brain wasn't computing what you said, and I was like, wait, okay.
See, you're getting used to me in radio mode because in radio mode I'm goofy and wacky, and in the podcast mode that we've been doing thus far, I've been like, well, the Texans, and the game that they played on Saturday. What are the takeaways that we have?
For sure. But yeah. Well, Mahomes, like he, it's like as you said, no, it's like no one can touch him. He's a magician out there.
Like no one wants to touch him.
Right. So I guess you can put him in that bubble, but outside of those guys, like you want your quarterback scrambling to throw the ball and create a play off of that, get the ball into his playmaker's hands so they can create after the catch. So
we loved what we saw from Stroud.
Yep.
Now 3 games in the book. Who is the other person that jumped out the most for the Houston Texans this preseason? We haven't mentioned Damien Pierce yet, and I did love to see a little bit of throwback of Damien Pierce. We haven't seen a lot of him, of course, in this preseason. Didn't play in the first game. But what to you, I guess, after CJ Stroud will be the biggest story of this preseason?
I would say just how effective Damien Pierce can be because CJ's a rookie, and it's not like he has a plethora of 1,000-yard receivers at his disposal. So it's really going to come down to him. Damien Pierce take a lot of pressure off of CJ to get him into those 3rd and 5 situations, 3rd and 4 situations. So CJ doesn't have to necessarily go for the, a 10-yard completion to convert a first down by a yard, because like the 39s and 38s, you basically got to throw the ball 10 yards for the most part at the bare minimum to get a first down majority of the time. So if you can have, the rushing attack be extremely effective and get Damien Pierce downhill to create explosive plays and, ball control and things of that nature. And then, so that can make CJ's life easier. You can run the play action and the linebackers can actually bite. Because I remember when Kyle Allen got his first start against the Miami Dolphins after Davis Mills got benched last year. I remember, I think like first play of the game, they ran play action. Mm-hmm. And the Dolphins linebackers did not even move when they ran play action. They didn't even move. They didn't take a step towards the line of scrimmage. They just went to their drops. And I remember talking to a player on the team and about that. And he was like, yeah, you saw it. They weren't even moving, so stuff like that, once Damien Pierce can get the ball rolling and then now open up play action for, even though like it's been said that you don't necessarily need an effective run game for play action to work. And there is some truth to that. But I feel like for CJ, he's going to need Damien to really eat. So then when he operates play action, you can get the guys the ball in space, like Tank in space and Robert in space and Nico in space and Mechie in space and Noah Brown.
We're going to talk about Tank a little bit later and somebody else who we did not see a lot of last night. But I to stick with Pierce, say you are that safety that he decided to assault with his shoulder. What are you supposed to do there? Because he's small. It's hard to get lower than him because of that. And that run was my favorite moment from him last night. He runs with such violence despite the frame. And I wonder truly at the end of the year where we will be putting him among the top running backs in the league.
Well, to answer the first question, I'm the safety. When I watch the replay, I see that I got the tackle. And that's all that matters. I got him down to the ground.
Oh,
I got him down to the ground. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Okay, so you didn't get blasted through. Okay.
He didn't get blasted through.
Okay.
That's all I got. Okay, but on a serious note, I think at the end of the season, I think Damien Pierce will for sure be a solidified top 10 running back in the entire NFL. Because I think with the offensive line the Texans have with you, did you know that week 1, 3 starters didn't play in that week 1 preseason.
Correct.
Game. In the second week, they allowed 16% pressure rate on CJ Stroud. Last night, it was 0%. He was pressured on 0% of his dropbacks. So that's the type of offensive line Damien Pierce is going to be running behind. Is an offensive line that can keep the quarterback clean and create lanes for him to run through. So I think that because he ran pretty well with an interior last year that ranked, in the 80s or worse in terms of run block win rate at ESPN stat. And he still was top 7 in rushing when he got hurt with 4 games to go. So I think this year, as long as he plays at least 15 games, he's going to have well over 1,200 yards rushing, over 10 touchdowns, 10 rushing touchdowns, might have a couple receiving touchdowns. I think he's going to have that breakout year where people go, oh, yeah, nah, he's a top-tier running back. And that's why I'm going to draft him in my fantasy. So if you're in one of my fantasy leagues, I'm getting Damien Pierce, and you're going to lose.
The fantasy draft I was in on Saturday, I was hoping that I would be able to get Pierce, and somebody had taken Pierce last year and had him as a keeper.
You said that was last year?
Yeah, it was last. So it was for the draft was on Saturday.
Okay.
This guy took Damien Pierce, and
Is
I remember
he a Texans fan?
Yes, he is. Yes.
Oh, okay, loser.
Damn, that's hateful. Speaking of the L word, there may have been a very big loser in last night's Texans preseason game. We'll talk about that on the other side. It's the Paul Gallant Show. He is DJ BNMA of ESPN. Stick around.
ESPN 97.5 and 92.5, home of the Norwegian Blue.
Remarkable bird, the Norwegian blue, in it beautiful plumage.
Is joint pain, soreness, and achiness getting in the way of your best life? Football legend Emmitt Smith refuses to back down to pain. That's why he's a huge advocate for QC Kinetics and their natural approach to getting you relief.
Look, we get one trip around, so I wouldn't ever let pain stop me from hanging out with my race team, traveling with my family, or golfing with my friends.
Emmitt's got it right. And QC Kinetics uses regenerative medicine to relieve that never-ending pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back. And the best news, there's nothing foreign being introduced into your body. Just your own body's natural healing properties. No surgery or no downtime.
If pain's holding you back, maybe it's tennis, pickleball, running, hiking, or spending time with special people in your life, what are you waiting for? This is precious time. Get out there and get over to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 713-913-5285. That's 713-913-5285. 713-913-5285.
Are you ready for some football, baby? That's right, football's back. It's officially returned, and let the betting begin. NFL preseason is here and college football right around the corner. It's time to get set up on MyBookie so you can make those games a lot more entertaining and possibly put some cash in your pocket to boot. At MyBookie.ag, you'll find so many fun ways to bet on football, against the spread, money line, and totals. And right now, there's futures odds on teams to win the Super Bowl. One team we know is 18,000 to 1 to win it all. Let's talk bonuses. MyBookie.ag and click on bonuses. There are several ways to leverage your deposits for more cash. There's a welcome bonus for new players, a reload bonus for existing customers, and a referral bonus if you get a friend to sign up. Hop on MyBookie.ag today, start having fun, bet on games, win some cash. You can also bet on Major League Baseball, soccer, and golf. Plus, they have live casino betting with real dealers. As I've always told you, and I'll tell you again, bet on anything, anytime, anywhere, with the only place I tell you to do it, MyBookie.ag.
Whether you're a contractor, landscaper, or homeowner, Bobcat compact excavators are built to handle any job with power and precision. Bobcat of Houston is offering huge savings on a new Bobcat E35, 25 horsepower compact excavator. Take it home today for the low monthly payment of $695 with a 36-month lease. Don't wait on this deal. Visit your local Bobcat of Houston location today or on the web at bobcatofhouston.com.
Offer available for well-qualified buyers. Prices and promotions exclusive to Bobcat of Houston customers. Taxes not included. Some restrictions apply. Offer cannot be combined with any other offers. See store for details. Offer expires August 31st, 2023.
This is Lisa Zadok from Zadok Jewelers. Did you know that when you purchase an engagement ring diamond with us, we'll plant a tree? That's right. Zadok Jewelers partners with Trees for Houston to plant a tree in an underserved Houston community with every purchase of a loose diamond. Not only does this make Houston more beautiful, it also makes it a healthier and happier place to live. Getting engaged or upgrading your ring? Visit Zadok Jewelers and we'll plant a tree. Make the moment at Zadok Jewelers.
Welcome back to the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's your host, former Shorecrest Preparatory All-District Safety, Paul Gallant.
Sometimes there are some technical difficulties in this station of ours, whether it be chairs, headphones as well. So we gave DJ a really professional headphone. You don't have to put them on. Yeah, we're back on the air. We're back on the air. I was just talking to him about how terrible our headphones are. There's this headphone that we have here in studio. I believe they are for either John Granato or for Lance Zerline. And it's essentially like just a broken set of headphones.
It's like they got this one from McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like in the Happy Meal.
But
y'all remember that? The Happy Meal back in the day?
I do. These are.
Do they still got that?
What, they have headphones, Happy Meals?
Do they still have Happy Meals at McDonald's?
I don't know. I don't go to McDonald's.
Has inflation priced that out?
Probably. Probably. Listen, I just don't go to McDonald's.
Okay.
We're bringing in some better headphones right now.
Give it up for Sean.
Before we go to the phones, because an old favorite's calling in, and I do enjoy this man's passion whenever he calls in. I wanted to ask you,
thank you so much,
DJ,
Sean,
about the probably coming out of this game, the guy who looks like the biggest loser for the Texans. It's Kenyon Green, because Kenyon Green wasn't with the starting unit. He came in second, and as you mentioned, those numbers that the Texans offensive line have been able to put together as far as pressure rates in this preseason, they're continuing it, and in fact are perfecting it in a game where Kenyon Green is not out there with the ones to begin the game.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, he's going through some growing pains right now, but he's only 22 years old. So I think offensive line is the second or third hardest position to transition from college to NFL. I think quarterback is one, cornerback is 2 or 3. So it's between those two because of just what you're asked to do and things of that nature. And again, with the new CBA, guys don't practice as much. So with offensive line, it's a lot of it's about reps, continual reps, and really working on your body and things of that nature. And when you're not able to practice as much, again, due to the CBA, with limited OTAs and minicamp and no more 2-a-days in training camp, things like that, even though that's better for the body for these players, the position that suffers the most is offensive line. Because if you look across preseason, it's so funny when people always say, oh my God, this team has no O-line depth. Yes, newsflash, nobody does. Nobody has offensive line depth for the most part. If one of your starters goes down, the backup is usually not going to be as good. And that's because there's just a lack of quality offensive linemen due to the lack of reps that they get in the NFL. And then just a college game, since it's way more spread out and things of that nature. So it's just harder for them to transition to the NFL because there's way more power in the run game. You're dealing with way better athletes when you're pass blocking. So it's a lot. It's a more nuanced conversation.
I get all of that. You're right. Like it is more difficult, but unfortunately for him, he's a first-round pick.
Yeah.
And you're expecting a lot from a first-round pick offensive lineman right away. So, okay, yeah, no doubt about it. NFL from college with less practice time. That's certainly a big challenge. At the same time, I mean, this was a first-round pick for the Texans, and this guy's supposed to be one of the building blocks of your offensive line, and he is behind on the depth chart, DJ, a guy that I had never heard of until the last couple of weeks.
Well, I knew about Michael Dieter. He played.
It's your job.
He played for the Dolphins.
Okay.
So, you fill in the blank.
Was he good there?
Let's stay positive.
See? Okay, well that's even worse.
No, but he looks better now.
Okay.
All right, so Andrew Thomas, the left tackle for the Giants, he was considered a bust pretty early in his career, and he was All-Pro last year. Laramie Tunsil didn't make any Pro Bowls when he was with the Miami Dolphins. He was there for 3 seasons, made 0 Pro Bowls, and came to Houston, and now is arguably the best left tackle in the league. So all I'm saying is,
no doubt,
we can't rush this development when it comes to alpha because it's all different for different guys. And even Titus Howard, like I had people tell me when he first came out, he struggled too, and now look at him, he's one of the better all right tackles in the NFL.
We've touched on this before. I think sometimes we do get a little bit crazy with first-round picks and what they're supposed to be. Yes, we all want them to be Pro Bowlers or All-Pros, but it's very likely they will never be that. And at the very least, you want the guy to be a competent starter.
Yeah.
And I mean, that to me is a successful first-round pick. It obviously varies in degrees when it comes to, hey, if you're picking top 5 versus top 15 versus top 25. Like there are different expectations attached to where those guys are picked. But I'm just looking for a competent starter. And whether it's partly due to injury, and it felt like he was behind the 8 ball last year because of injuries, or whatever's going on right now, like it's not a good sign. Certainly not a good sign. And I mean, I just hope that Dieter's actually going to be a very good right guard for them if he ends up being the starter for week 1.
Yeah, but I think Kenyon's still going to start. You got to remember, he still started. He started 2 out of the 3 preseason games this year. There's just no financial. I mean, this is a business. There is no financial gain from keeping Kenyon Green on the bench for Michael Dieter because Kenyon Green is he still owed a lot of money. Well, he still owed a lot of money from a dead cap perspective. So you want to make that work regardless. So I think he's still gonna start week 1. he had a rough game last week. Yesterday. It is what it is. He's young. He just hopefully that injury that he suffered after he gave up that sack isn't as serious. And I think again, if he got hurt on that play or he was hurt prior, it just happened that with clips they can get viral. They can be polarized because again, it's not like he was giving up a bunch of pressures prior to that. And then again, that week 1 game, him and Juice Scruggs were holding it down for the most part. They weren't the ones giving up the pressures. That was the right tackle issues, that left tackle issues. And then week 2, he was part of the offensive line that only allowed a 16 pressure rate against a pretty good front in the Miami Dolphins. So I get it. The clips can go viral, and we can harp on that, and we can zero in on that because it's easier, and negativity sells on Twitter, especially on X.
Yeah, X.
But we have to be patient with Kenyon Green. We have to be patient with Kenyon Green because again, it's not like he was playing well in the preseason.
He had good moments at the beginning of last season too. And then all of a sudden it seemed to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
All right, DJ, we're about to do something for the first time. You are about to take your first sports talk radio caller. Are you ready for this?
I think I took a sports talk radio call with Howie Lindsay in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah, I had been going on a while, and then the guy was like, he asked out Howie, who is your partner on air? And then he told him who I was. He said, well, welcome aboard. But I was like, dude, I've been on for like a couple months now. What do you mean, welcome aboard?
See, you are a radio man deep down inside. You remember small slights and hold on to it forever.
I remember too many slights.
We got Gary calling in at 713-780-3776. Gary, what you got?
Yes. Welcome, my man. Welcome, my man, to the show. Look, I have faith in this show right now. I really do. And so that's why I'm giving you guys another opportunity. I remember when Troy Aikman, another opportunity to get it right. Troy Aikman and Peyton Manning Troy was 1-15. Peyton Manning threw 1 million interceptions. And there are 2 words, progression and feet and patience, 3 words. I never heard people use that for those three quarterbacks. Those 3, progression and what have you. Now, I turn over to Sports Radio 610 because I say I'm done with 97.5.
No, you don't say their name.
I'm not.
You're cheating on me.
I'm not. And then I'm just joking. Wait, I'm joking. And when I turned over to 610, they were talking about Stroud. Progression and footwork. Well, what progression did Peyton Manning and Troy Aikman have when they struggled? Give these guys some patience. Give Stroud some time. Give all these quarterbacks some time. But we're nitpicking and we forget. I'm 50 years old, so I watched those guys struggle. They were prolific passers in college at UCLA and Tennessee. And then they get to the league and they struggle right now. But maybe you can help me. Why do they use progression and feet when it comes to most of our quarterbacks? Because in the barbershop, we never say that. So maybe you can help us.
How about you answer that question, DJ? Once again, I'm lost, and I love you, Gary.
So he said barbershop, so I think I have to answer the majority of this question. All right. So
have I never been in a barbershop?
Gary sounds like a 50-year-old black man. So when he says,
I wouldn't know.
So when he say barbershop, he means barbershop. You feel me?
Not the salons that Paul and I go to.
Yeah,
I have a hairstylist.
Actually, before I ask the question, when you go to the barbershop, what do you?
I have a hairstylist.
Do you get like a 1 or 2?
I actually on the sides I think I get a 0 on the sides.
Zero on the side.
I do a little fade up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what?
Do you get it lined up top though? Do you get like a taper or anything?
No. I try to hide my widow's peak as much as I can.
So they just get a pair. Like,
listen,
scissors, razors. Talk to me.
Annie does magical work. Annie is my hairstylist. I met her at a Christmas party. I saw her on the floor. She's very attractive. Grabbed her with a candy cane, and we started dancing. We went on a couple of dates. There's a candy cane.
How big was the candy cane?
There's a big candy cane. There's just one there. Just pulled her in. And we danced. We went on a couple of dates. Didn't work out. She texted me like a year later, hey, I do haircuts. And I had just gone to Supercuts, and I had somebody who sadly did not speak English, cut my hair, and they did a bad job. They did a very bad job. So that's how I got there. But okay, back to the barbershop.
Okay, so
I'm not sure what Gary's point was.
So I think what he's trying to say is back in the day when people talked about quarterbacks, they didn't mention footwork, progression, all that stuff. So I get what you're saying. And they gave more patience back then. All right, so the reason why they gave more patience back then was, the sport, which is completely different. Like you could rip guys' heads off back in the day. You really had to be patient because it was just way harder to play quarterback back in the day due to the physicality and the rules. So now the rules changes, the evolution of 7-on-7. Quarterbacks throw way more passes throughout their youth, and when they get to the league, they're just more prepared, which is why usually if a guy looks bad early, it's rare where they turn it around. That's why you want to see them be competent early on, and you hope that they can develop. Now, to his other points, why we talk about progression and feet and all that stuff, it's because we just talk about the quarterback position in a way smarter light. Back in the day, it was you can go, let's say you go 5 for 21, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns, and you won the game. They were like, boy, that's a good quarterback. He got the W.
Oh, I want you to keep going with this impression.
He got a W.
Keep going.
That's what we call a quarterback. And then on the other side, the guy might have thrown for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, and been like, see that guy right there, he can't play. You see, if Justin Herbert was back in like the 90s, people would probably like think he was not good because it was like, he doesn't win. We need quarterbacks that win. It's all about winning. When in reality, so wins
I love that.
is a quarterback and isn't a quarterback stat. It's more of a coaching stat, but in reality, like if you have a really great quarterback, they can guide you and will you to a bunch of wins. So I think to his point, Gary's point, we just talk about the quarterback position a lot better.
So you actually simplified his call, which has happened now twice, in a way that sadly Gary was not capable of it. So I appreciate you for that, because now I actually understand what he was trying to say.
Yeah. He said he's 50. He's seen a lot. And
but here's
I'm surprised. You're 50 also, no?
Shut the hell up, okay? I flipped him off when he did that at first. F you. Second, the thing that intrigues me when Gary calls in, Gary calls in and he's always very defensive of CJ Stroud. I don't think there are many people going after Stroud outside of the, actually online types who were like your friends saying like, oh, we could have led that ball to Nico Collins on the left sideline a little bit more. Like, I really think right now it's either apathy from a lot of people that are just sick of the Texans and all that they've done over the last couple of years, and just an expectation that it's going to continue to suck and that Stroud's going to get like brought into this vacuum of doom. Or it's people that I've watched and are like, this is good.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm optimistic and excited to see what's going to happen week 1 against Baltimore.
You when you said that thing of dooming and you coughed. That
played, there was
that played really well together with the dooming in it.
Yeah.
But
thank you. It was unintentional.
Yeah, my friend Chris Rim, Baltimore Banner, phenomenal talent. Mm-hmm. He was the guy that was like, he could have put the ball a little bit further. But, that's my dog, So I'm actually going to see him week 1.
Yeah.
So he calls me a take merchant.
A take merchant?
Yeah. Because in the chat, I have really wild takes that I actually don't like.
All right. So the next time you're on, you just have to give me a couple of them. And I'm going to choose which one. We'll keep it in house. We'll keep it in house. And I will choose one that I want us to dive into.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you some of the wild ones. Some of them probably can't come on air.
Okay.
But,
okay.
Football wise.
Okay.
Because
I want the non-football ones.
I don't have too many crazy.
I want to hear.
I work for Disney. I don't have much crazy wild non-football things.
That's what I forgot. You work for real Disney. I work for fake Disney. I get to talk about dongs and boobs on the air. And you have to stay away.
Oh Lord! But I think to answer the question, if I can remember it, because I sometimes have CTE that pops up from time to time.
Oh, you do?
Nah, I don't know. But sometimes you forget
you put things out and you're like using the old Ambien defense.
Sometimes you forget.
Oh, whoops, my bad.
I think I'm getting old though, because
you're just going back to
I be forgetting stuff, man. I called my mom yesterday. I was making some, I was seasoning my goat, and then I told my mom, I understand what it's like to be an adult now.
It's the worst. You call me out for being old, and then you complain about like being old, and I'm
getting old.
I
didn't say I was old. I'm getting no. You know who's 15 years old? Chris Rim. Baltimore, the guy I just mentioned. He's 15 years old.
Okay.
He's 15 years old, not me. I'm
He's
21 years old. I'm a
man.
I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm a man. Come at me.
I'm actually 40, apparently. He is DJ.
You're 50.
DJ, this is always. Shut up. Just you know what? Go. Just go.